Barbara asked a question about cultural competency, and you answered it sort of in the global way in terms of languages and so forth, but a large part of the health difficulties that face all segments of society are things we do to ourselves. Our eating habits, we smoke and drink, and don't get enough exercise. And what can you say to address how the minority population can be more made to be more aware of their role in terms of healthy lifestyle choices? We did have the Surgeon General here several years ago, and he spoke to that with a great deal of passion and insight. So I'd like to know what you think about that from the from the manufacturing side of it.
Well, I'll tell you what we're doing, and then I'll speak a little off the Medtronic talk track on that, as I usually do. The first is that you're absolutely right in the sense that, and it goes to the first point of what we all can do, is be our own advocate in owning our health outcomes by way of lifestyle choices. That said, there are some realities about that I tried to speak to, not in great detail, about some that have not the options, because I'll just say, organic fruits and vegetables cost a whole lot more money than those with pesticides. Okay, so we've got to be real about what the implications to asking individuals who have limited resources to make some of those choices. I'll go a step further. A lot of the populations and the network grocers and markets in their communities don't even carry the healthiest options of choices in the first place, even if they had the desire to make that choice. What are we doing about it? Education specifically around heart disease and the risk factors. Eating habits are certainly part of those. And the ultimate outcome, whether we're talking about kidney disease, whether we're talking about obesity, are the implications ultimately that these erode the cardiovascular system. And the individuals who suffer from any of those will ultimately die, not of those conditions themselves, but of heart disease associated as complications of those conditions. So what can we do? Continuing to do the public service announcements around healthy lifestyle and eating choices. You see them from the federal government by way of public service announcements addressing through obesity, lifestyle choices, certainly the bans and warnings and black box that we see on cigarette labels, etc., that quite frankly only bolstered use for a period of time. But those are the realities that individuals own it. What would propose very specifically is that all the generations coming behind us are watching what we do. To the question earlier of how are you modeling it, what kind of lifestyle choices are you making, not only for ourselves, but for our children, of making sure if I'm a couch potato, I about guarantee, I don't know the exact statistic, but my kids will be too, of getting them out in front of the TV, out in front of the video games, out in front of the Wiis of the world, and out exercising. And so while I celebrate and advocate that there's more to be done for lifestyle choices, I also think that there's more to be done from a societal social determinants factor of making these choices available. Some people clearly cannot go outside and take a walk around the block or afford a membership at the local gym. Now what are the options? So therefore it's going to take funding in school systems and that kind of thing to make sure that the first thing we take out outside of art is gym most often out of public school systems. So again, I don't know if that gets at your question. One of the things I will ask, whether it's your question, Jim, or others, if I don't clearly answer it, it's because I need to clearly understand it, but I'm certainly not one to dance around hard issues or discussion topics. So if that's not where you were going, please redress. I welcome that.
Well, Cindy, further to that question, our First Lady, Michelle Obama, has taken on juvenile obesity as an initiative that she wants to really focus on. And yes, public service announcements, those things are important. But as it relates to our young people, it seems to me that there needs to be pressure put on companies that are advertising to teens to support their bad habits. Has Medtronics thought about anything in terms of what it might do to apply that kind of pressure to help companies market differently to teens to facilitate their taking better care of themselves, and any partnership with the First Lady's efforts?
Well, now, so a couple of things. One, Medtronic in particular, no, because we're implantable devices. So by way of lifestyle choices, and most of our indications are not in pediatric use. So I'll start there. Are we doing it at a societal level? Yes. Specifically to your question about juvenile and youth populations, not so much. Is there an opportunity? Probably so, to figure out how we could better do that. On a separate but related note, I would like to comment on another Twin Cities, Minneapolis-based company, and that is General Mills, which I'm very familiar with a lot of their leaders there. And you are seeing decisions and decisive moves that they're making that are not without a sufficient degree of risk. And that is putting more whole grains in their cereals, which cost more as a commodity. So their LBMs, if you will, are going up, and doing their best to keep costs low so that they're not passing that on to consumers, of making options not only in terms of content of their products, but the promotion of the nutritious value of some of their products, and not taking the easy way out of the sugary snacks that they could. One of my personal friends is the president of General Mills Snack Division, and promoting Nature Valley as a brand over some of the others is one of the goals of that enterprise. So it's not Medtronic specifically, but when you talk about industry at large, there's a number of things we can speak to. Then, more on a personal professional note, I will add that our First Lady, Michelle Obama, has signed on to be the co-chair of Girl Scouts of America, which I'm also on the board of our local council. And so that's very exciting to look at partnerships and moving forward. And General Mills has signed up for a campaign to partner with National Girl Scouts to further that effort directed specifically at girls and young women. So, thank you.
Today at the City Club of Cleveland, we have been listening to New Leaders program featuring Cindy Kent, Vice President of Marketing for Medtronics Incorporated. Thank you so much, Ms. Kent. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for attending. This program has been adjourned.